It looked for a while like Odell Beckham Jr. would be a good fit with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. But, of course, the Jets opted for Mike Williams. Now comes word from Josina Anderson that Odell will visit the Dolphins.
Good.
Keyshawn, what team would be the best fit for Odell next season?
The best fit?
For him and them.
I know. I'm just trying to think because the Miami situation is interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're a third guy, you're a veteran. You can give them some little inside. You can play outside, but they got Tyreek Hill, so the majority of the balls are going to go to Tyreek Hill. And then you got Jalen Waddle as the second guy in line. You're the third guy, but how much action are you really going to see? And in this day and age in his career, what is he looking for? Are you looking to win another Super Bowl, or are you trying to get the most money out of whoever you can get it from?
Yep.
I like the Dallas Cowboys in this situation for him, Skip. They visited him a couple years ago. He wasn't ready to play. Now maybe they revisit it again now that they, got rid of Michael Gallup. Maybe they say, okay, maybe he wants less than the $15 million. Maybe we can pick him up for a little bit more than a veteran minimum type situation. Maybe that's a good fit for him. The New York Jets, even though they went and got Mike Williams, he's a different receiver than Mike Williams. And him and Aaron Rodgers has a relationship. They have a connection. And he can also go over there and be somewhat of a mentor to a degree to Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams, who, so those three to me probably make the most sense, I would think. It just depends on what it is that he really, truly wants out of this situation. Do we want to play with a Hall of Fame fire quarterback in Aaron Rodgers? Do we want to play in a palace and all the hype machine around the Dallas Cowboys? Or does he want to go to a no-tax state in Florida? So all those decisions have got to be made.
Point. Yep.
All those decisions have got to be made.
I got it in my head that Odell belonged with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. He's a New York kind of guy or an L.A. kind of guy, so he got his ring in L.A., and it just felt like he would go back to New York where he started with the Giants and would be a good fit on a star-studded team that is loading up to win now. Mm-hmm. And they have made a lot of nice moves. You made the case that the AFC is still so loaded with quarterbacks. All the top quarterbacks seem to be on that side of the ledger, not the NFC side. But I like what the Jets are doing because I love Tyron Smith, who's no longer a Dallas Cowboy, to protect Aaron's blind side for the next year or two. And they have shored up that offensive line because they stole 2 starters via free agency from Lamar in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So Aaron's going to get protected. He's 40 years of age. So it's a win now, window starting to close situation that still suits Odell, but you hit the magic question for how much? Because Baltimore gave him $16 million last year, and I don't think they thought they got enough bang for their buck, or they would have jumped all over him to keep him there because I think everybody liked him. I think Lamar loved him. And yet I look at the productivity, and it's pretty meager. And then we hit the postseason against Houston. He got 1 target and caught 1 ball for 12 yards. And then in the AFC Championship game, remember the third quarter, Lamar tried him twice in a row deep and couldn't connect with him. So he threw him 6 balls and he got 3 for 22. And it just wasn't good enough to measure up to $16 million. So Odell he'll be 32 on November 5th. So kind of in the middle of the season, he's going to turn 32. It's not too old. You played until you're 35.
34, 35.
Okay. The problem with Odell, what hurts me when I talk about Odell is he's had 2 ACL tears on the same ACL. It's hard, man.
I don't think, to be clear, Skip, I don't think that there's anywhere near $16 million out there for Odell.
No.
Nowhere near. Mm-hmm. It's just, that's the reality of it. It's nowhere near that amount. So it comes down to the right situation for him. Like, what is it that he's really looking for? You say New York, but this is not Odell Beckham, New York Giant, New York, one-hand catch.
Yeah.
So it's a different, it's different. It's like you going back as, it's not the same. You're going back somewhere, it's like they don't remember you like that. They remember you as Odell with the blonde hair. That's what they remember you as. They don't remember you as the fourth receiver on the team or the third receiver on the team.
That catch on that Sunday night, that's almost 10 years ago. And it was the catch of, you could say, the century or the greatest catch of all time on Brandon Hughes' Carr, my cornerback. The last free agent that Jerry did sort of plunge on, Brandon Hughes' Carr. And that happened.
Man, what's wrong with you,
Yeah.
Skip? Leave that man alone, man.
Yeah.
He can't defend that any better. That was just a great throw and a great catch. What else you gonna say?
It was a very good throw.
It was a great. It was a better catch, obviously.
The moral to the story was: would you believe Dallas actually won that football game?
Well, the Giants weren't very good back then. But
you always say the Giants are no good.
They aren't. They hadn't been good. Even when they won the Super Bowl, they didn't hit till the playoffs.
Just a year ago, they made the playoffs.
Oh, God.
Won a playoff game against Kirk Cousins.
We're not talking about the division. We're not talking about the damn Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about
Odell you brought them up. Well, you said, does he belong in Dallas?
I think Dallas is a good fit. You got a no-tax state. They got a good quarterback. They got CeeDee Lamb, who doesn't have all the pressure. You still got Brandon Cooks. You could slide right in there as their third and kind of mix it in. It's a good spot for them. Depends on the money. The Jets is a good spot. It's just everything is going to go through Mike Williams and everything is going through Garrett Wilson. Although Aaron Rodgers and Breece Hall, does he want to be in that rat race again in his career? Does he want to go to Miami in the sunshine and ride off into the sunset? But I don't think the Miami's going to be winning no championship anytime soon.
Yeah.
Those are the three teams.
We're going back 2 years ago. Jerry Jones fell in football love with Odell Beckham Jr. He just was enamored. Because it's like Odell was born to wear the star on the helmet.
That's why it makes sense to me.
I understand, but Jerry pushed and pulled and prodded and poked, and they tried and they tried. And the point was, Odell kept posting videos. I'm running on the treadmill. He just wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
It just wasn't healed yet.
But you see, in that same year, the Rams signed. That was the same year, right? That the Rams signed him late.
No, it was the next year.
It was the next year. Yeah. But you see that he went to Baltimore and he stayed healthy all year long. Mm-hmm. So he's back.
No, his health is fine. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So now, when
I just don't see the burst. I don't see that electric that I used to see.
He still got some of it. I mean, if you look at this pump 5 right here, I mean, he ran right.
He did.
He ran away from him. Gave him the and went up and split him. So I still think he has some of that. You're just not getting the New York Giants, Odell. And if you're okay with that as an organization and you understand that and he understands his role, then why not?
Man, when he went to Cleveland, I thought it was going to be the greatest match ever. Him and Baker loved him. They loved each other. They went on vacation together, and they couldn't click on the football field. And then Odell had 5 different injuries in his time in Cleveland. And it was a sad situation, man. He just kept getting rocked. And maybe it was Baker's fault because the ball's not on time and on target, right?
Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that happens. And yet, then it was at Cincinnati. He tore up that ACL so bad, and then Baker took off after he left, and they went and won a playoff game at Pittsburgh. And then to Odell's credit, he wound up with Sean McVay, and he was on the way. I don't know what would have happened, but you could make a case he was on the way in the Super Bowl. He might have challenged for the MVP.
And back to your lack of leadership power with the Dallas Cowboys, that Michael Irvin that you're looking for, that might be the guy.
You think so?
Well, might be the guy. Well, and I'm not talking about his ability on the field. I'm just talking about
presence.
Presence.
I understand.
His presence.
Yeah. Okay.
And his understanding.
I'll buy that. That's a good. You make a good case.
Because you always complaining that they don't have that type of presence on the offensive side of the ball.
They don't.
They got a quiet leader in Dak and whatever. And CD doesn't say much, but maybe you bring an Odell Beckham in there in the.
Not that he's a big vocal leader, but he's been there and done all that, man.
Yeah. But you don't have to. You don't have to be the in the circle rah-rah guy. It's certain things that you do from a leadership standpoint, whether it's working out, whether it's looking at a guy, a certain death stare, whatever it is that becomes that leadership. He has that intangible in him for sure. Yeah. And maybe that works for Dallas.
One thing about Odell, as big a celebrity as he became, especially in New York, he's high football IQ.
Yeah,
he's a smart kid. Not a kid anymore, but the point is, he could be a good influence on what they have, even on CD.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
So maybe Jerry is listening and he's saying, yeah, that may work.
Sometimes when Jerry gets his heart set on something that doesn't work out, then his heart gets broken and then he's on. You know, like I'm moving on. Like that didn't work out. So I have this little voice in the back of my head saying, nah. Like now Jerry will just say, no, we tried that and it didn't work.
Philadelphia gonna sign him, then y'all gonna be crying.
You think so? Well, who else? Who isn't Philadelphia going to sign? They finally started signing some good people, right? All right. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.